What is going on, everyone? Welcome to this edition of a Thoughtful Thursday episode. Mondays, if you've been following me for a while, are usually episodes with guests. So they're guest episodes around a typical topic. It used to be wherever the conversation went, but from now, I'm trying to stick to really specific topics to really tease out the expertise of these people. But today, on Thursdays, I always release thoughtful episodes where it's around a topic that I truly believe in that impacts me, impacts people that I know, and is a societal hot button issue because it's really important to not only look at these issues and talk about them up here in the clouds, but really dig into some data as to what's really going on here and actually apply some positive potential, encouraging words, some actionable steps on how to overcome these negative data points that we're seeing in society. And hopefully you're someone who this hits home with you or someone else, because these episodes aren't just for the sake of talking, but they're for the sake of helping you as the listener gain some knowledge, gain some actionable steps in your life, being able to apply these things so that you can live a more meaningful and thoughtful life. Today is going to center around male suicide. I came across this stat that really blew me away, and I'll throw it up on the screen right here. But man, this stat blew me away that 500,000 more men, American men, than women have taken their lives over the last 25 years, since 1999. If male suicide in America had happened at the same rate of female suicide, 500,000 more American men would be alive today. And I was curious about this because we live in this world where we say that we have the best technology we've ever had, that we have the best knowledge we have, that we've learned so much about the human brain, that we've learned so much about mental health. So why is it that more people are committing suicide, especially more men, than ever before? Why is it that the DSM-5 has created a new diagnosis at a rate of 3 per year since its inception? Why is it that we've added more diagnoses and yet depression has gone up, anxiety has gone up, OCD symptoms have gone up, autism has gone up, suicide has gone up? And I think with the men specifically, which is where I'm going to touch on today, a lot of that suicide has to do with the polar opposites of what society tells us, right? So society pushes two narratives about men. You have the toxic masculinity side of if you're too masculine, if you're always in the gym lifting weights, if you're a true bro. And if you're using that masculinity to assert power or be confident, that's toxic. It's not taking into consideration all the other people. It's brutish, it's old school. We're not Vikings anymore, so you don't need to do that. We've labeled that as toxic. That's one area of it. The second area I see is this idea that men can be feminine, these feminine traits that you see in men. And I do want to say that genetics plays a part in how we're predisposed, but a lot of the environment, I'm not an environmental psychologist. I don't do environment type of work really in my counseling and therapy and coaching. But what I do is I strongly believe in that your environment is going to shape how you think from a young age. It's going to shape how you move from a young age. This is why we see this transgender movement of these families that the likelihood of one of your kids being transgender is like 0.25%. And yet we see these families that all four of their kids are transgender. Some of them are non-binary. Some of them their pronouns are horse and pig. It's amazing that these families, they hit the lottery, as one lady in a video said. And you can clearly see just by deductive reasoning that the environment plays a huge role in how a child perceives themselves and how a human being grows up into themselves. So back to this toxic masculinity versus the feminine masculinity, I guess you could call it, that we're seeing. And I think there's two areas I want to really focus on here. In the toxic masculinity realm, you have people living into this testosterone-laden approach to who they are. they're living into what it means to be a man.